Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Not a Transformer. No one cares.
Hi,
Definitely.
welcome to TFYLP, episode 464. I'm Lucas, and I am live tonight with Rob.
Hi.
And Peter.
Forever Destron.
And Phil.
Good evening.
And Paul.
Sup?
So tonight, what's the date tonight? Where are we?
What is
January 10th?
what's up?
We all sound asleep.
Happy New Year, everybody, man! Yay! We did it.
This is it, right? This is the first live one?
This is the first live one, because
It is.
last week
Well,
was...
we did a microcasters last week.
Yeah.
But that wasn't this show. That wasn't the us show.
That's true.
That was the everyone but me show.
That was
I was
the
gonna
Christian
say, you were invited.
non-appearing.
Yeah, that was Christian giving us the finger show.
Oh no,
Uh,
missed it. I have those toys that you guys talked about, but Nick has them up in New York. What am I going to do? Like, have Nick not show up so he can say whatever about me not having the toy?
If he was a good friend, wouldn't he send it already?
Keep talking, everyone. Talk past me.
Hey,
so
wait,
does
we
Nick
had
do
a
like
we
a
had
pile
a
of loot or kind of deal?
There's a Destron pile.
Does he offer free shipping? Kind of like
Oh,
no.
I see him every couple of years at a show, and he's like, "This is yours." I'm like, "Okay, thanks. This is
I
yours."
think he does that for like 4 other cast members. He just
Yeah.
brings piles of everyone's crap that has accumulated since the last time he saw us.
Yeah, or you can bring him a box of your stuff and say,
That's what we
"Here,
do. We exchange piles of stuff.
exchange boxes." There you go. That's the way to do it. So.
I was gonna say I was wrong. We had a live oof my wallet last
You had a
week.
12-minute thing that you sort of invited us to, then you stood us up. You're grounded.
Right.
I was thinking of that, and I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to bring that up. I was just going to let it slide.
It
Shameful.
doesn't really count. I almost deleted it, but there was a kind comment on the video, and I was like, you know what, dude, keeping it up.
Oh, this is
Just
weird.
for you.
Apparently, they're saying that everyone's audio is echoing.
Can't tell me
better
what
now.
to do.
Oh, you know what? Here, hold on.
It's Lucas has the input
Here, how about
going.
this? Does this? You guys talk and see if it.
Test.
Talk,
My name is
Hi.
Duran.
Welcome to TFYLP, home of the TFYLP. We are the TFYLPers, and I am TFYL Peter. And this is
Forever
us. and
mustache.
We talk about robots because we're the coolest kids on the block. Way cooler than those British guys that hang out in triple somethings, and way cooler than those slag pod peoples, and way cooler than those other guys, the radio friendly cast stealers, and way cooler
Yeah.
than the Thursday show.
Audio's good
The
now.
Sibes.
Yay.
Okay. Oh,
Catherine says that it's echoing, but then Zaldrin said now it's all good. So yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it should be
Catherine's
good
comment
now
was from a few minutes
because
ago.
what happened was I did an update and then it had the
Lost the
system
settings.
audio and Skype on at the
Yeah.
same time. I didn't notice it, so I think it should be okay now. So.
You did.
So what are we talking about tonight, Lucas?
So tonight we are talking about our most anticipated figures of 2020
Transformers.
Transformers. So if you say
Beep, boop, boop.
Transformers, is that only official then, Rob, or
Nope.
is that
Transformer and closely related products.
because I feel like
Because also Phil will talk for an hour about dinosaurs and Power Rangers or something. Otherwise, if we're not careful. So I'm just trying to head that off the past so we can all go to bed tonight.
But wait a
while
minute.
talking about Rubits.
Super 7 makes Silverhawks and turtley stuff and G.I. Joes. So are they like tangentially connectified to the robots?
No.
Are you
But
sure?
Hasbro also makes G.I. Joe and Transformers.
There's a
and
company
Power Rangers.
called Hasbro, and they forgot the G.I. Joe exists.
I feel
Well, I
like
mean-
it's like the Simpsons episode where Lisa's trying to explain to Homer that bacon and pork chops all come from the same animal. He's
What
like,
magical
Lisa,
animal
there's
is
no
that?
yeah, exactly.
Phil, you want to talk about the Bears quick and get it out of your system?
Oh God, please no.
What?
Wait,
Today
what?
is our Super Bowl.
They hired that
Today is
guy.
our-
Why are
today
we
is our
worried
Super
about?
Bowl victory parade?
The only bear I want to talk about is if it transforms into a robot.
I was gonna say Rob's local team is still in the playoffs. My
doesn't
local
have a team.
is still in the playoffs. Peter's local team
Peter's
is
local team is still in the playoffs.
is still.
I have
in
a
the
local
playoffs.
team.
I believe so.
We just need to get Peter a shirt that says "Go Local Team."
Well, I think there's
Um,
like a national championship on tonight too while we're doing the show. But hey, who
Oh
cares?
yeah.
So
I mean, there is a
appreciate
brand
you-
of clothing that is just like it says literally city name, sports team, or something like that. So we could all get that, and you're all representing. It works for literally everyone.
So Zaldron says his most anticipated figure is whatever the HasLab figure is that has not yet been announced, but will come out. But there is a figure from HasLab coming out for Transformers. What?
Starballs.
No, I was gonna say the Victory Saber.
Is that shipping this year?
I believe so, isn't it?
I don't know. So Sentinel from Marvel Legends came out pretty fast and I think on time, but the Razor Crest is really behind schedule. So I don't know what their schedule is like for these HasLab dudes.
What does Razor Crest transform into?
I mean,
Pile
Disappointment.
of rubble.
spoilers
Ash.
for season 2, everybody.
I feel like once the HasLab's funded, like the dates don't matter anymore. Like they really don't. You're
Yeah.
they're kind of like, well, you get it when you get it, which is actually how all toys go. But it
Yeah.
just feels a little more crazy when it's the big event sort of toy.
Yeah.
So quit your bitching is what I'm saying.
We're not bitching. I just don't recall when it.
I'm not
actually
talking to
comes
you
out.
guys.
Oh,
talking to
okay.
the listeners, the hangers on, everyone out there that may need to hear that.
You're making Paul mad at the things that a potential someone might potentially think. Potentially.
The boogeyman.
He's pre-posting Facebook comments before someone else can post a Facebook comment about where is this at.
I wish Facebook comments didn't exist. That would be I'd be a much happier man.
Yeah, then
Let me
Facebook.
tell you about
just don't have to
this
read it.
shop I saw and the prices
Oh
they
right,
charge.
yeah.
On that one Facebook group, yeah. Oof, whoever's wallet bought that. All right. We need to teach them about the internet.
Unoof, whoever received.
So Transformers Legacy, I thought was going to come out pretty much right after Christmas, but it seems like it's going to be a little while because we haven't really seen it
Prime
drop
versus
even in
Prime
Asia.
has got some of the, the factory leak stuff like he does. I don't know what the lead time is between, him getting his
It's usually
stolen factory
2
samples.
months, at least.
I mean, we're just now getting that last wave of Kingdom. Pipes and Slammer hit right before Christmas. Tigatron and Blaster are hitting now as well. So I feel like that's our like Christmas time wave is those 4 toys. Post Christmas time wave.
Can I put a few things in perspective on that?
Please.
Sure.
So if you remember the Golden Disc collection, those all came up over the course of 1 week, and they all had a release. These are Amazon exclusives for the end of Kingdom, and they were all scheduled to be released on like April 1st. Do you remember that? I don't know if
April
you,
Fool.
if you didn't, yeah. If you didn't try to pre-order them in a mad scramble like most people, then you might not remember that. But they were all scheduled for like way in the future, 6 months from when they were available. And the listings had been leaked like a year in advance. And then all of a sudden, the first 2 releases just like popped up like that. They did not come out in April. They came out in November or December. So what I believe happened is all the toy shortage for Christmas sort of things were in the air back in like the summer of last year. And I think all these companies were just sort of like pushing release dates out because they just didn't know when stuff would come. And originally, the Wave 4 and 5 Deluxes for Kingdom were supposed to be combined. It was supposed to be Pipes, Slammer, Shadow Panther, and Waspinator, where that was Wave 4. But then the plan changed in the middle of the summer, and that got split into 2 waves. And then they added Blaster in, and they added Core Hot Rod in. And so, like, they knew that they were basically changing the schedule based on what I think was going on with logistical issues at the time and trying to, like, preemptively make a good thing happen. And the actual release date for the first wave of the Deluxe Legacy is April. But I think we're going to get it a lot earlier than that.
So you think that the current dates we're seeing are just being overly cautious?
Correct.
Have you guys ever seen like the Scott Steiner math problem? No? Okay. No, any of our wrestling fans? You guys should look up the Scott Steiner math problem because that's all I could think of while Paul was talking there. It made no sense to me. There was a lot of numbers and
it was a lot of dates. I know dates are hard.
And I watched the Talking Malibu Stacy episode today, and remember when Barbie said math is hard and they pulled the toy?
Yeah.
In real life, that my wife and I, we say math is hard around the house all the time because math is hard. But that's a joke that we had.
Statement.
Yeah, but she's an accountant. I don't know. I don't math. What are we talking about?
I'm a bigger fan of the Chevy Chase SNL line. I was told there'd be no math.
Well, like Studio Series, Hot Rod, and Soundwave, the new Voyagers, they showed up out of nowhere, unannounced, just like, here they are. Like, I think they were being overly cautious. And
right. Well, I feel like we are seeing Wave 1, I feel like usually is announced for like March or April, but then it comes out. Like, I feel like February is like, usually there's like, whatever, like one case a store or something like it gets it at Target, and then like everyone runs around all crazy trying to get, the figures, and then they don't actually show up like, in bulk until, in March or April. So
yeah, Lucas, I was gonna just comment on that same thing. It's like, wait, what's the release date when that first teaser drop hits the store shelves that everyone scrambles around for, when they actually like arrive en masse?
Yeah.
Long story short, it's unpredictable, and it's been even more unpredictable in the last 6 months. So, like, your mileage may vary, and things show up early, things show up late.
Even to your example, haven't some people gotten the other 2 Golden Disc toys now as well? The Pterosaur and the Tigatron?
Well, that's what's so
those, like,
troublesome. That's what's so troublesome. You see a picture on the internet on fucking Facebook, and you don't know if it came from Zimbabwe or San Diego.
It didn't come from Zimbabwe. I can almost guarantee it didn't come from Zimbabwe.
92% confidence it didn't come from Zimbabwe, but
so you're saying there's a chance?
I love you, Peter.
But yeah, it's funny that you talk about the Golden Disc stuff. And it's almost kind of deleted out of my head. Like the pre-orders for that were so long ago, and then I kind of forget about a lot of this stuff until it shows up. It's kind of the same way with some of the Shattered Glass stuff, where it's like the Jetfire like hit my doorstep, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I ordered that, didn't I? So
yeah, and I just realized in the last like 24 hours that he's sold out on Pulse.
There you go.
Oh, why does that matter, Phil?
Because if you liked him and you're like, man, I'm not going to get him, but then you actually see him once people start having him in hand, you hope that they do a re-release of him. Otherwise, you're SOL.
You are such a bad liar, but let's move on.
My list of stuff I'm looking forward to is all 3P. Pretty much. Pretty much.
I was getting to that. We're teasing it out here.
No, I know. I was just like, do we want to break this up into like what we're excited for that we know is happening this year, and then things we'd hope to see this year. Or
Sure.
why don't we start with you, and we can kind of just round robin it, because I'm curious to hear what you say, because I don't really know what's coming from 3P.
Well, so my question, like with 3P and whatnot, a lot of times we see a fair amount of stuff drop before Chinese New Year. And like, I feel like a lot of stuff is dropping right now. Is there other things that are scheduled to come out? Like, and I don't know when Chinese New Year actually is this year, but like they're scheduled to come out here shortly. Like, I know those Zeta train bots are all have been hitting.
Like, those are number one on my list of stuff I'm looking forward to that I know is coming out. And that is the Zeta train bots are on their way. Fans Toys just put out a couple of releases, and they starting with kind of Soundwave. They did Soundwave, and then they did the cassette pack, and now Not Huffer. All those are shipping. And then, didn't X Transbots just have some releases?
Now,
I know
Lock
2.0 came out. Perceptor. They just came out.
Is Fans Toys like are they still doing combiners, or did they scrap that?
That is also my list of stuff I hope gets announced this year, because no one knows and they aren't speaking. Instead, there's like, hey, look at all these other toys we're doing instead.
Right, exactly.
which I think says a lot. So.
Right. Well, that's what I kind of think is they were going hot and heavy last year on combiners. And how many combiner teams did they release? It was like the Superion and the Minosaur.
Yeah, half of two.
Okay.
And everyone knows this. Fans Toys is very aggressive. And so they release stuff based on what other people are doing just to try to shut out competition, which is really stupid when you're in such a niche market. You should try to live together, better IMO. But the reason they rushed Stunnicons is because X Transbots was putting theirs out, and then DX9 was putting theirs out, and so they were like, oh shit, we got to get in the game now to make people not buy those, so they buy ours, even though they hadn't figured it out.
You say that, and I we were talking about this in the chat earlier, and the fact that all of these figures that they're dropping, they have the Jazz figure and the Huffer, or not the Huffer, I'm sorry,
Trailbreaker and Moist and Mirage,
and
those four,
and those are all relative. It's new masterpiece prices, and I'm like, man, I don't know if
it's Fans Toys masterpiece prices. The Perceptor battle is an interesting one because that's shipping right now. Reviews of it have been really good. A couple people got it in hand, just normies, and that said it's really good. It comes with a ton of accessories, and it's like $100 cheaper than Fans Toys. And so when the preview copies of Perceptor started, X Transbots Perceptor started coming out, Fans Toys also does this big image dump gallery of theirs just to try to stop people from buying it. It doesn't mean it's about to come out. I mean, it's obviously
some
far
people
along.
have said their credit cards have been charged for it.
Okay, really? Yeah. I haven't noticed it as incoming anywhere yet, but
one of my friends has said that he has been charged for Tesla 2.0.
Okay. I haven't yet, even though I'm buying the X Transbots one. I'm going to probably cancel my Fans Toys pre-order, but I also thought about getting it in just to look at it and then, selling it. But
I canceled my Fans Toys pre-order.
But
I just can't remember where I ordered it. It's in my list.
But yeah, I feel like too is if there's a couple different ones coming out, maybe you want to wait and say, oh, well, who's gonna have the better reviews and whatnot, or are you I already have a Jazz or whatever on my shelf, a third party one that is pretty good. Do I really need to spend that much money? And so I guess again, I know, Rob, obviously for you, if you're going for that cartoon aesthetic, you needs that cartoon aesthetic. You don't want to,
Who is clacking?
And whatnot.
Click, clack, clackety, click.
I was gonna text you, Phil, but
so
yeah, it's a case of the Make Toys one is pretty close. It's a solid figure. It has a couple things that have bothered me, and that's the only reason I'm at least looking at Fans Toys. But to your point, it's man, that thing's probably gonna be $100 more than I spend for Make Toys. I haven't looked at the pre-orders for it yet. But with their car bots, those things have been selling out so much lately. It is, and that's definitely something they want, is to make people, feel like you're going to miss out. Who doesn't?
Who's they?
Fans Toys. I mean, and honestly, every business ever, they want you to make you feel like what they're selling is in short supply, so you better lock it in. And Fans Toys definitely has that going on. The rest of their lineup, the other 3 cars don't interest me because I really like the versions we have, and what they're doing isn't any better or worse in my opinion.
Well, but Fans Toys, I feel like in this last week just pulled an XTV that they didn't just do Hoist, Trailbreaker. So today was Trailbreaker. I'm sorry, Hoist, Jazz, and Mirage. They're Jive, Phantasm, and I forget what Hoist is renamed.
No one cares about their names.
Right. The other day, last week was Trailbreaker. And then earlier last week was they announced Pipes and Outback and put Outback up for sale, but Pipes is still not gone up for sale. So they've now put out there 6 new toys with 5 of them up for pre-order. A couple had been teased already. But that was, sort of like X-Transbots with like, hey, we're gonna bombard you with pre-orders and
yeah,
it's going to be expensive if all these guys come out at the same time.
Well, Keith went insane last year with KFC and X-Transbots announcement. The one difference is that we're seeing colored prototypes or whatever from Fans Toys on the stuff they released, which is nice. There's not just 3D renders. Like a lot of what Keith put out was just digital renders with digital repaints, of stuff that he's planning on doing. I kind of feel like a theme of 2022, or at least those are really the only 2 companies left in the third-party Masterpiece game for G1.
G1, yeah.
Is just to try to get back on track after a pretty slow 2021 or 20.
So Catherine points out sort of G1, not necessarily in the exact G1 design, but the King Toys Predacons. Those are still coming out, and those were very well received last year. And yeah, I'm curious to see what those new editions look like. I don't know if I'll eventually get that. That's a lot of money, but they look darn good.
But see, that's what, my question, Rob, with all these drops and whatnot of these various companies like Fans Toys and whatever, right? It's like, well, I already have all of those versions behind you. Right? So it's like I can get these slightly upgraded, slightly shinier versions or whatever. Is that...
Well, I don't like shiny versions. So...
Right, but
it's the exact same as mainline collectors.
It feels like kind of a... I don't know. It seems kind of like a little bit of a letdown where you're like, oh, well, I can just replace what I have right now is slightly better versions, whereas the King
incrementally
stuff,
better. Just like Rob said, it's just like the main line. It's basically mini Masterpiece collecting, but for full-size Masterpiece at Masterpiece prices. So
it's the Maxi Mini Masterpiece collection.
Yeah,
Maxi Mini Master Chugster Piece Premium
Childster Piece.
So with Fans Toys digging into the car bots, it is definitely some ground we've already run before. All those car bots already have other versions out there, but I think Fans Toys wants to do their entire own run of toys.
Right.
There are people out there that call themselves, I'm a Fans Toys collectors, and that's what I buy and that's what I want, and it's each their own.
I mean, it makes sense because if you want a certain aesthetic, you want it to all fit together and whatnot, that you're more likely to get that from one
Fans
company.
Toys isn't consistent either. And they shouldn't be, because
right.
These toy lines have been going on for years and years and years. Tastes do shift and change. The biggest problem is shiny paint or not, metallic paint or not. And that's where people can't land because the fandom's pretty split on what people like. There's markets for both.
One thing we don't talk about a lot, and maybe Fans Toys is unique in this sense in a way that we don't talk about much, but their materials may be different. That the materials they use, the plastic they use, the metal parts and stuff, it might check a certain box for a group of people that have gotten other third party toys and are like, I wish it had
absolutely
that that special kind of ratchet or this or that.
You know when you have a Fans Toys toy in your hand, like they use like thick, dense die cast all throughout their stuff. Like, you know, you can brain people with their toys every single time. And like, even when it's hard to tell sometimes if their stuff is painted or not, because it looks really nice. And it's something they do, either a finish or how they make the plastic or the die cast or both. Like, I don't know enough about that process to speak about it, but like, it's hard to tell sometimes. And I'm not obviously going to take a screwdriver and scratch at it and see what's inside. So, you know, to find out, I'll let Peter do that. You know, for a custom that he'll halfway finish, he can let us know what the guts look like.
80%.
80%. But you know, to your point, Lucas, that's what makes what Keith is doing really exciting. That's what like Juan Zeta's Raiden is really exciting, because it's like it's cool, it's big. The two that are out have good reviews. I don't know. I'm stoked about it, but Keith put out a bunch of like in the corner stuff with.
Right.
I don't know how much is going to come out this year, but I'm really hoping that his God Genrite comes out from KFC. Like I've been looking forward to that for years. So that's kind of like, don't know if it's going to come out or not, but I really hope it does.
Right.
And it's going to be very expensive, but I'm still looking forward to it. You know, because the rest
100%. Like a lot of the stuff that XTB is putting out is, I mean, great stuff. Like the Omnibots. Like who knows when we'll actually get those. But
punch,
like,
counter
punch. Omnibots, like punch, counter punch, or whatever, you know. I mean, it's great to actually get. Yeah. So.
I mean, although we've gotten Desirous toys from Planet X, and MMC's is about to come out, but I feel like those are different than what XTB's doing. You know, those are kind of a little more IDW-ish, and MMC's trying to shoehorn in like a G1 version, but.
Okay. We're going to go around the room, and you've named literally everything that's coming out third party for the next 4 years.
Thanks, guys. Like...
So have a good night, everyone.
Well, no, let's stay on the third party thing, because I don't know if these are going to come out this year, but in terms of other stuff that's been teased at the start here of 2022, Fans Hobby is showing off their Armada Tidal Wave, and is it Overload? And both those look way better than Paul's indicating right now. I mean, we're
Overload and Broadside.
Really okay. Yeah, we're seeing really early
or Tidal Wave, sorry.
Yeah. We're seeing really early mock-ups of those like green, not even grayscale prototypes, but those green prototypes. But I mean, it's certainly got, you know, my attention with wanting to see that. I mean, Tidal Wave especially, like I'm very hungry for a updated Tidal Wave toy.
I don't know if I'm going to dip into them just because of space reasons, but I think the Tidal Wave is going to, if people put their money where their mouth is, it's going to be very popular. Because people mention Tidal Wave like every 2 seconds if you find somebody that liked Armada. It's the number one is always Tidal Wave. I don't know what the fascination is. Like, I mean, I think I like the toy. You know, it's cool, whatever, but I don't get the love for it as much.
It looks
you're wrong.
God awful connected to Megatron. Like I can't believe they released that photo. I just don't know what they were thinking. I mean, I'm going to show it happens, but it looks so bad.
Yeah, they're just trying to show that it does happen. Because again, the original Armada toys connected, and it looked bad. It looked like something that was designed after the fact, not something that was really designed to scale to each other.
I mean, it's like Optimus wearing Jetfire.
Improve on things after 20 years. That's what you're supposed to do.
No, you just want to make it toy accurate, then you're fine.
Oh, sure.
Right. Yeah, that is a little bit of a balancing act. How much do you want to improve on it versus keeping it still accurate? And how do you make it better looking? You either have to make Megatron larger or Tidal Wave smaller.
Yeah,
because that's really the thing. They don't scale that well to each other.
I feel like you make the robot modes first, and like care to make sure those look good, and then because of the combining, I think it's something people are going to do once. Say, hey, look, it does that, and then they're going to probably put them back. It's not like when you do like an actual G1 combiner or any other combiner, the combined mode is like if you did a Devastator, what you really care about is the Devastator looking good. But I don't think Tidal Wave plus Megatron is a mode anyone really gives a crap about.
That's going to be really freaking heavy. Like, because those Fans Hobby toys are pretty substantial, and that tidal wave looks gigantic, and the Megatron looks gigantic.
I don't think they use much die cast in their stuff though, which should
They
help.
don't, but they're still big figures.
They
Definitely.
fill them up
Yeah.
with fishing weights. They don't. It's not an advertised feature. They're just full of lead.
The Monster Bots had die cast, and those are heavy. And then I just have the Night Beat from the Headmasters Junior or the Headmaster. So, and that doesn't have any. So I don't know what these Armada Energon ones have. And so again, with their other stuff they've got, they do have the Armada Megatron, and then they've got Energon Prime coming out as well. And Energon Prime, I'll probably pick up. I didn't like that toy growing up. I think I only picked it up for the first time maybe 4 years ago. But
Still one time too many.
I never opened mine.
Gotta have it.
I got it.
It sucks. Gotta have it.
Wingblade is one of my favorite Energon toys, so I got it to combine with that.
Well, there you go. That is
Yeah.
definitely like the best version of that.
Yeah,
I
Hey,
don't know.
Peter,
I mean,
so
I feel like most of I was gonna say most of Fans Hobby stuff is really fun. You know, a lot of the things. I mean, they really do kind of upscale and MP the original toys, like that Laser Prime and the like trailer that they did with that. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
super solid. So on Fans Hobby, Peter, what is Fans Hobby about to ship soon that I know you're excited about?
Cab.
Cab.
He charged. My ace hitter finally showed up. It's been sitting in a pile for 6 months. And yeah, Cab with his horrible fucking truck mode. They improved it a little bit.
I thought it looked better in the, like, I think was it Ben's Collectibles had a review of it, and I kind of half watched that or whatever, and I thought it looked better than I remembered it when we originally saw it.
It's still
Didn't look
not
quite
great.
as squat.
It's still not great, but it exists.
It exists, and I'm happy. And so we have the set. Boom, boom, boom. Happy. Done.
I mean, I think me and you have both said this before, Peter. Maybe me a little more than you, but like, if XTB or Fans Toys or probably honestly even MMC did these characters, I probably would get rid of the Fans Hobby versions. Not that they're bad toys; it's just aesthetically they don't fit in to anything, in my opinion. But
They're not toy accurate. They're not cartoon accurate, but they fill the slots nicely. Kind of like what we were talking about with the Make Toys Jazz. I waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and bought the stepper version and was like, okay, I can do this. I'll wait for someone to do it. Hasbro's it's gonna happen. It's right around the corner. Takara's gonna do a masterpiece. Then they didn't. And then Make Toys redid the premium version. They did like super paint deco version. I'm like, all right, fine. No one else is doing it. I've been waiting for 5 freaking years. I'll do it. And I did it. I got him last year. And here comes Fans Toys.
I mean, for what it's worth, the Fans Toys might not hit for another 5 years.
It might not. And we'll have a Hasbro and a Hasbro Plus one sometime within the next 2 to 3 years to fill that gap. So I will replace them. Going to the Fans Hobbies juniors, I would replace them if something better came along. But I'm happy that we have what we have when we have it. Yeah.
I mean, again, beggars sometimes can't be choosers, and I definitely want to have a representation of these characters on my masterpiece shelf. So cool. It'll be nice to have the trio. Like, I didn't bother to get Night Beat because that really doesn't look like anything from anything, But yeah, I got the other two from Master Force.
If you put the blue on his eyes, he looks a little more IDW-esque.
I mean, it's a good figure. It's just I got to be pickier and pickier these days.
Phil,
And like with Make Toys Jazz, at least, like I feel like if I never got another Masterpiece Jazz, it's totally okay. Like the Fans Hobbies ones are pretty far off, but the Make Toys Jazz is plenty good to where I don't feel compelled to. I have to get the Jazz, which kind of gets back to your point with a good bit of what's coming out is just milking that early G1 well.
But then I can reassign Jazz as Monka Spanka.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
I can reassign the Make Toys Jazz. I can just say it's Monka Spanka and put him on the third season shelf.
That's awesome.
Boom.
Oh, is that the guy that wins the race? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Scatman.
I want to bookend the Fans Hobby segment by giving Phil a challenge that he can hold over my head. If they make a purple version of that tidal wave and they call it Shockwave, well, I mean, they're not going to call it Shockwave. They're going to call it Fans Hobby 13 or whatever they do. But I will buy that. I will buy the Japanese version that was in the show because it's Shockwave. And it always was.
You got to get those bonus points.
The first episode he showed up in, they called him Shockwave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I'm Thundercracker now.
There you go. Paul can make his annual third-party purchase.
He buys a
the
lot
guy
more
who
than
did
one.
that Jetfire paint tidal wave black for you and purple.
Huh? What?
Love the guy who did that Jetfire do a custom purple and black tidal wave for you.
Talking about Masterpiece, I had on my list some stuff I'd like to hear. Literally anything from Takara.
Except for train bots.
Train bots.
We got a new train bot. It's
Yeah,
coming.
we did.
Ooh.
I'm anticipated those 6 being done, so I never have to waste an announcement on them again.
You know, Rob, what if those moon bots or whatever suck ass and you're like, God damn it, I should have gone Takara because everyone ends up... Because we're still
already
early in the game. We are early in the game. No one has any of them in hand,
No,
except for the
people
guy
have
in
them.
China that
People have
got
them in
There's
hand.
two-
a really bad
already
version
two
of the
that are
Moon
out.
Studio.
The
No,
Moon
like,
Studio,
people
there's
have-
two of them out.
Paul's talking about the Takara ones.
Oh, got it.
Oh, those
Talk
are really
about-
bad.
Talk about either.
No, the Moon Studio
The Moon
ones are
Studio's
in
one.
people's hands.
Yeah,
People
Moon
have
Studio
them,
ones are
and
out.
they're good. So, although the
That's not what I've seen.
Yukikaze, I can't remember exactly the white one. His transformation looked more complex than I thought it was. Getsui looked good. Looked what you would expect. But both of them look infinitely better than Takara's, which look like they're going to be a nightmare. Maybe they're still fun, but either way, I'm not going to buy them. So, but yeah, like we know Cliff Jumper's coming, and Skywarp. I am looking forward to Skywarp and completing that collection, and Nightbird's coming, but like we just haven't heard anything. Cliff Jumper still hasn't even been announced, which is weird. Hey, Paul's got Skywarp.
Surprise.
Yeah, he looks great. I'm looking forward to having the trio done again, but it's just we're hitting that lull again, and I hope you're right, like you were saying a couple weeks ago, Paul, that we're just waiting for something big to be announced, and we haven't heard. Am I wrong? Is there even a repaint of Beast Wars lined up or anything? Like we're dead in the water there, right?
Nothing doing.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a Waspinator or a Scorponok, like a smaller format one.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
That we weren't expecting.
Silverbolt.
I'd be really sad if the next MP is like MP 52 plus Acid Storm. But that is probably likely.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gun shy on that, given how poorly the Coneheads did. Like Coneheads were main characters, and
Well, when
I
you
don't
make
I
a
don't know.
crappy toy.
They had assembly issues. They were mall exclusives. They had a problematic.
that was just Ramjet
Release.
that had assembly.
It was just, but he was the first one out of the gate, and he had a big
he?
issue. There was the recall, and then everyone just kind of after that,
And at the time, those were the most expensive NPs that were coming out.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were like
there was
$220
also a bit of
each.
sticker
Which
shit.
now is
Yeah.
like whatever.
Which to me, if they chose to make them Takara Tomy Mall exclusives, means they did not expect them to sell well to begin with.
Right.
So they were small run, and then they sucked. So that was a double whammy there. Sometimes that creates a vacuum where they become $500. Sometimes that means they become $90 on BBTS.
I still can't believe the price of it. Like I don't know. Maybe there was enough
It blows my
knockoffs.
mind.
Like Make Toys never even came out. Or Dirge did. Did
That's
Dirge,
my.
They did one of them, yeah.
Dirge came out? Yeah.
Well, remember,
that's
there
a
were also
anticipated
iGear
figure
versions.
is the Make Toys
Yeah, iGear.
Coneheads are supposed to be coming out this year. That's what the rumors say. Chinese.
I wish
sincere or not.
I wish Make Toys the best of luck, because they've been a great company for a lot of years, and the more players, the better. I mean, hey, if they're over there all, I still function, that's wonderful, and I hope they're correct, and maybe they'll get reborn into Make Toysatron or something, but that'd be wonderful. I'm not going to put my hopes there. And then either way, I win. I'm either right or I'm wrong, and Make Toys is still around. So I'm good either way. But yeah, I wish Takara would tell us what the fuck they're doing, if anything, other than Cliff Jumper that they don't want to announce.
Well, I would just say winter festivals, weeks, if not months away. So is the Tokyo Toy Show. With COVID, who knows how expansive those will be, but I think we'll probably get some answers within 30 days.
That'd be nice.
We're all kind of hungry for a new character / new mold sort of deal. I mean, I don't feel like when you think about it, we did get a decent amount of MPs, especially recently. The 3 Seekers, but again, those are redos of characters and only one new mold.
Yeah.
Skids and all his repaint buddies.
We got RC.
We got RC
pretty recently.
We got Nightbird coming out. So, it is like this weird thing that doesn't feel like we've got that much, nor do we have
unless
that much to look forward to.
The train bots have really just consumed them so much, and it's just that's where everybody's went and blah blah blah. But I mean, I'm so guessing at this point. I just don't want it to be over. And yeah,
it's never going to be over, Rob. They will tell us. They'll give us last shots of all the last molds they have.
Yeah. If whatever they do next, if they do, hey, we're redoing Soundwave or something, it's definitely going to feel pretty boring. Keith is honestly my only hope right now for that more excitement bit. Again, getting back to what Lucas said.
Well,
again, that's why I hope Takara gives us a new character that they haven't done yet.
Well, can you think of who that might be? Even, think about all the third-party stuff that's out there. If they're here's Reflector, I think everyone would be let down. Not only because it's kind of a C-list character, but, many people have already done that. What
Zaldron
could they
brought
do?
Up Rat Trap.
Well, if you go Beast Wars, you can talk here for a while. Pretty much everything. There are some interesting Beast Wars 3P MP stuff that's supposed to come out this year. Transart's Transmetal 2 Megatron is supposed to come out. And a new company called Future Toys is supposed to have their Transmetal Black Arachnia. Why are you shaking your head, Peter?
But yep. She looks good.
But will it come out? Will it happen?
Is that Inferno still coming out? That non-transforming Inferno?
That came and went.
It was released.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Oof.
Wonderful. And then, Jing Zhang or whatever it is has their Tiger Hawk that we haven't seen anything. Transart also has a Black Arachnia that I'm hoping they formally announce or whatever. Those protos are rumored to be Transart. Are they or are they not? But finding out more about that, that stuff would be good. Yeah, I think Takara, any Beast Wars, anything, because it'll probably be season 1 or 2 would be good. I think for G1, they would have to go to the Japanese series to get excitement, Paul. To some that or here's some of the other G1 combiners that no one has touched, and given what they did with Raiden, I'm not super up on how they could do it.
For the most part, Takara doing a new figure is exciting. So, Enots in the chat says MP Jazz.
That's what I was going to say.
That would be,
if they announced that, hey, fuckos, we're doing jazz, I think everyone, it would be just huge white spray across the United States.
No.
And everyone would be
be a lot of,
it's snow.
All the Masterpiece fanboys will be okay, cool.
Fans Toys has already announced it. I don't need it.
So
Transform
I'll
and
wait for
roll
the
out.
knockoff.
No.
I'll wait for the knockoff.
What was that? There was a company called Transform and Roll Out that did a jazz, right?
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Remember that? There were 4 or 5 jazzes, including the Fans Toys one. It's if they announce if Takara does anything that's been overdone by any of the other third parties, it's just gonna be the diehards, the official only types, Paul, will be yay, and everyone else will be yeah.
I mean, a Takara Jazz would be pretty awesome because other than RC, I still really love all their car bots.
It really depends on what it is, Again, you know, if it's like the MP44 Optimus Prime where it's like it looks really good, then that's exciting, you know. But if it's like something where
If
it's
it's like
like
Hound.
like the RC where you're like, I'm not so sure about this one.
Oh.
Well,
It could be like
Peter-
Hound where it breaks really easily. You know?
I
Such
got
a good
one. I
design.
got one for you
Peter,
guys.
Peter, you're not wrong, and this is not directed at you, but like
Oh,
What
I'm going
you
to take
just-
it personally. I'm
what
going to
you
take it
just
personally.
said counteracts. If I have to believe what you said, then it counteracts the argument that's out there. That's like, oh, third party doesn't hurt Hasbro Takara. It doesn't. But you basically just said it does. Is that correct? Because like no one will care about the official Masterpiece jets.
I think that a lot of what third party has done has molded and sculpted Hasbro and Takara into doing things differently for better or for worse. It's improved the Generations line immensely.
I mean, I think it feeds back and forth.
It does.
One
But I think
influences
it's
the
hurt
other,
the MP
influences
line.
the other. At this point, I definitely think it does impact, because as I think the Masterpiece collector people have shrunk, and Takara has went at such a snail's pace. I feel like they're kind of their own worst enemy, to the point where people are like, you know what, fuck it. You know, they've quit caring, because there was a time that it didn't matter if third party did something. When Takara did it, all that crap went on eBay, flooded hard. And now people are like, you know what? I like this Deformation Space Starscream better. I like the Transform Element Prime better. You know, which wasn't how things used to be.
Well, there's a price difference there too. So
Well, not
Not
with
just
Fans
that
Toys
price difference.
anymore.
I mean,
Fans
with
Toys
Fans-
has jacked it up.
Exactly. Fans Toys has brought the price up to
you just
where
brought
it's
up
equal with-
Transform Element Starscream though.
Deformation Space Starscream.
Whatever the fuck it should
I don't know how
bullshit
much that one was.
Starscream.
Yeah, there's definitely a price there for not Fans Toys that the price is undercutting. But those people also that generally go for that are more concerned about price. The people buying Fans Toys are the ones that don't care about price, that would buy the Takara version if the Fans Toys one didn't exist. But Fans Toys is doing it, so it does exist. So yeah, I think it's cutting into them these days. But again,
So the
part of
ones
it's
that I
shooting
think
themselves in the foot.
That's all I'm trying to say.
The one I think Takara could do that still has been done by other third-party companies, but I think would be well received, would be a Blur. Because the Fans Toys Blur is not well liked.
Fuck that thing.
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't have to worry about car licensing or any of that, and I think we've kind of touched upon this. I'm surprised they don't do more of those movie toys where you don't have to worry about a licensing. Like,
I mean,
why
yeah.
isn't Takara doing their own Perceptor? You know, is there a freaking microscope license they have to get?
I mean, there's the
you're
laundry list. There's like 5 cars that need licensing, and then there's like 400 characters that don't need licensing, and like that's where they should go hard, but they just don't. They just don't. I don't know. We're not in those meetings.
And we talked about this with
Yeah,
Skids.
but
Maybe there is a component that's the car collector that wants the actual car too. So I'm sure there's a bit of a factor to that, but
I mean, the
they
other
get to
question
double dip.
too is like the Japanese
Yeah.
market, right? And also the Japanese market may be something where they know it's not going to be the movie stuff is not going to be as popular over there potentially. Who knows? But yeah,
They didn't get the movie for like a while, right?
1989.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, but I mean, they still had season 3, so.
What if like Elon Musk was some big closet Transformers fan and the next like Tesla is Chrome Dome, you know, and like Takara works with him like we are releasing Masterpiece Chrome Dome with the Tesla whatever.
Oh, that'd be funny.
And then
not
Elon
happening.
Musk puts himself in a headmaster suit and like his whole body crumples and he's just like goo oozing out of the joints and we're all
that'd
just
be
like,
so
yay!
good.
Like legit, something that Takara could do that would excite people is like a G1 Devastator that actually looks good and not like the Raiden's looking or a City Bot.
Well,
but
but
like-
there's like 300 third-party Devastators. So how is that different than
But none of
Masterpiece
them are
Jazz?
like-
That's the thing. That's what I was saying about the double dipping earlier is, hey, they did Skids and Reboost and Crosscut and all that, and that's wonderful. So they get to hit all the Transformers fans, all the hobby Transformers fans, and the Diaclone fans. So doing Raiden means that they get to hit the Trainbot, Train Robo fans from Diaclone, and they get to hit the Trainbot 1987 to 1990 fans from Transformers. So a lot of the snail's pace that we were talking about might feed into the fact that they have to get licensing, cover the Diaclone fans as much as they can, and at least give them a nod and throw them a bone, and do the same thing for the Transformers fans while keeping it within a certain price range, while keeping, they're trying to hit as many things as possible, and it's fucking hurting them. Devastator would work in that vein because it's Diaclone, it's Transformers, there's repaint potential, there's 4 or 5 different Devastators you can do, and they're going to look as good as that Raiden. Yay.
The thing about Devastator in particular is that for G1MP with the current aesthetics, there's nothing that fits. The best we have is Toy World, which isn't bad. Don't get me wrong, but the later releases because it's been ran a bunch are riddled with QC issues, really bad. I got mine for Christmas
2 years ago,
a year or two ago. I think it was 2019 or 2020.
2 years ago. I think it was 2019. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been watching you.
And I mean,
I'll show you the whole video of you opening it.
I had to send 1 or 2 of those figures back to TF Source, and they didn't replace them; they repaired them. And as they were dealing with that, and I was, still kind of going through some. I found some other misassemblies, and I was just fuck it. I was like, I'm just going to keep it. It's some of the arms are backwards or something. It doesn't overly impact anything, It's not even immediately obvious, and the other pieces came back fixed or whatever. They're riddled with QC issues.
The figure has also had 20 runs or something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
so,
but it's the best we have. But I do think MMC's coming out with a Devastator. I think that's what their tease is. I think it's a Devastator. But MMC stuff is not strict on the cartoon, but they are such good toys, and they're not bad for cartoon match. To be clear, they're not fans hobby off.
Well, what if they did Prowlestator? That would be real cool. Because that would make sense with what they do, That would be real cool.
Their combiners have been more G1 than IDW, though. I think.
I'm just saying, hook comes a foot.
And they... and they don't focus on that book as much. They do more than meets the eye.
It's more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It would be fun, but I don't think people would be excited about it. I think you'd be cutting off your own foot.
I think that moment is past.
They would have been cool in 2014.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
But that would also be exciting. Is if what's MMC's next combiner, and is it a Devastator?
Maybe they make the leg yellow and it's Scoop.
I mean, they still have the Protectobots that are coming out this year, which look really good, by the way.
I'm excited about those.
Take up pretty much the whole year, so they may not announce whatever the next one is till October, till TFCon in the fall. So I don't know. I'm really excited for MMC, the Desaurus, mainly because I sold the Planet X one to you, Rob, so I need a new one. But it looks really good. I know it's been a long time coming, but the paint on that, the head sculpt on it, just looks really, really nice.
They have mastered capturing Milne's facial expressions and turning those into 3D. And I don't know if he's there's a Jim Lee, the very famous comic book artist. He did some artwork for a Batman video game about 15, 20 years ago. And he was just man, my artwork when you turn into 3D models doesn't render very well. Maybe that's something I should work on. And so that's not easy to do, to take something 2D and make it 3D. But MMC has really, really mastered that with the Milne heads and faces and those giant isosceles triangle noses.
It surprises me how many companies can do a wonderful sculpt, but there must be a special power to doing good head sculpts. And MMC is really good about it. Takara's head sculpts are pretty much always across the board really good. But then Fans Toys can do so much of the rest right, but their head sculpts, they're never throw it in the dumpster bad, but they're not always great. XTBs also, they're usually fine, but they're never get you excited because they look so cool.
The Tesla 2.0 heads look good.
Yeah. Okay, again, they don't look bad, but I don't know, the MMC IDW ones definitely, it's that's the character. So well. And I only feel Takara is the only one that can do that. The only other one.
But Tesla, Fans Toys with their Tesla 2.0 looks like they're trying to do that, which I think is the first time.
Yeah, there's a Milne head in there. There's a couple Milne,
Yeah.
like really trying.
The internet is pretty sure that's a response to X-Trans bots, because those came out and he's been announced before. He didn't have those heads. And then Keith is like, yo, we're doing all these little minifigures and stuff, which are really cool and fun. And those little things are actually articulated. I'm excited for that release to come in. And Fans Toys is not known for accessories. As a matter of fact, they are extremely skimp on them. I feel for once, I think they're feeling the heat a little bit, which is interesting. But again, I think Keith is going to spend most of his time on the fringe stuff, which I am all about. Keep it coming, Keith. So
this is where we said, like, multiple players in the field breeds better products.
Yep.
There's an idiom about that, like competition something, innovation something.
No, we don't want innovation. We want one company that you're forced to buy from.
Oh.
Yeah.
Edison.
Yeah.
Well, it's different when they created everything that it all stems from, and they own trademarks and copyrights,
that you buy everything from, milk,
and they did it legally,
and toys, and
spent millions and millions of dollars doing it.
Paul,
broke our childhoods.
Toys that you buy from. I'm talking about everything that you need in your life should be purchased from one company.
Bandai.
Oh, Amazon.
I was about to say Amazon.
Yeah.
Kroger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the great deals at Kroger. Doesn't everybody love shopping at Kroger? They're such a great store.
So I kind of want to circle back to Hasbro, and I know earlier in the show,
I know that company.
One of the listeners was talking about Minosaur and how excited he is for that, and I know the Prime v Prime had the drag strip that the video on that, but it's like even then, like, watching that, it's like 100% can't tell like how the combiner is going to like work out. So I'm really
it looked like it was just
see.
pegging on.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious.
But that's not what drag strip's supposed to break in the middle. So
well, he does.
He does break in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, the Legacy toy does?
Yep.
Okay, I kind of skimmed the review, so okay. Well, then there you go. He's probably going to plug
Did you
on.
say Legacy or Lexi?
Legacy.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that kind of answers. I think they're going to do the 3P way.
Yeah. Which sounds, when they announced,
which is how you do it.
Motormaster was going to be a leader class, or no, commander class.
Commander
That's,
class.
I think, what everyone figured it was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly the Legacy Menosaur Stunticons is probably the main thing I'm looking forward to, but so far early what we've seen from Legacy has been underwhelming at best. Yeah,
you were excited for that Skids. It looks so good.
Mini masterpiece.
I said this earlier in a text chain with some friends. The fact that Skids has the back panel flap behind his head, that is some G1 era crappy, lazy engineering bullshit. Yes.
Just like Tidal Wave and fucking Megatron from Fans Hobby, bro.
Which was based off how Hasbro did it.
I don't know. I don't think it looks that bad. I think it looks fine. It's not anything where I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna get it, the Skids or whatever. But like that character in general, unless I'm getting an update to the IDW one, I don't know that I care that much. It's like throw them on my shelf. Like it's.
You could not buy it if you don't care.
Right.
And then we get better toys from Hasbro over time.
So, I don't know. I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. Like, but again, at the same time, I don't care. It's just going to be a box to check, for me. I think the thing that's hard is like, again, like, I'm really excited for the Minosaur. I'm excited for the Insecticons too, because I want to get some good official Insecticons. But then outside of that, I don't know. I'm sure there's someone somewhere that's excited for those the G1ified Prime figures, but I haven't met that person.
Can I give a real hot take?
Yes.
Is that good? I think if we had seen some of these Legacy reveals, like especially especially skids, but to somewhat a bit, like even drag strip or whatever. If we'd have seen those like 7 years ago, I think people would have called them knockoff trash, especially skids. I think they look so bad, and I think people are so high on the copium that, they're excited to get something new. They love buying stuff from Hasbro. And, you want to be excited about new stuff.
Nope.
And so people have a tendency to, we've all seen this where whatever's new, like they're excited about and it's cool. Then after they've had it a couple months, they're like, this isn't that great. Because,
7 years ago was Combiner Wars and
Exactly. That's exactly
like, those things looked
9 years
like
ago,
knockoff trash. So, I don't know. I mean, again.
if you showed me in Classics, when we got, I guess, 2007, fuck, that was a long time ago. When we were getting that Classics wave, if you'd have showed us skids, I mean, we'd be like, this is hollow. Like, just what the hell is this? It looks like.
Dude,
we wouldn't have.
Look,
we
man,
would have.
Yep.
Like,
We would have,
go
because
back-
coming off of Cybertron, going into Classics just before the movies, everything was dense with screws and pins and solid plastic. Everything fit together. It was nice and heavy, dense, wonderful. We would be so mad at the hollowness. I wouldn't say the design, because we had such a
Okay, so
I just
The
agree.
aesthetics
feel like
have gotten more
100%.
G1. That the looks have gotten more G1, but the quality has gotten hollower, and the toys have gotten a lot
Dude,
simpler. The reaction
I
would have
feel-
been a lot different.
I feel like that we need to go back through this stuff so I can like sit there and prepare to pick apart like that statement, because we've always had hollow shit. We've always had like wonky looking figures.
Sure,
and
some.
whatever. And
Some.
like, so like we love to go back with like, that era of Transformers and like pick out all the winners, but there's a lot of losers back then too. And so if you're
Tons.
going to pick out the one loser from the line now,
It's
like,
not the
and
one
again,
loser. I look at drag strip and I see it there too. Like to
I don't
be
know. I
clear,
don't think drag strip,
And that's the one
looks
people are-
bad. What looks bad about them?
They're all bad.
breathe in that copium.
They're all
Get a
bad.
good nice.
I mean, I think that they look better than the Combiner Wars stuff. Like, to be honest.
Oh sure, but that's a low fucking bar. Combiner Wars is when I stopped buying Hasbro stuff. Like, to be clear, like literally, that was just like,
Right.
Well, that's
Like,
like
I'm not
your
completely-
opinion, man.
well, it's totally my opinion. Fucking on a podcast, the whole
But,
point
I
is
mean-
to give my opinion.
I think at the same time, though, like you have the Studio Series that's coming out as well, and we're Peter's like,
He said he'd be right
Taking a
back.
break. It's cool.
oh, okay.
No, he said he'd be right back. I think he's probably kid stuff.
But yeah, so I feel
The Studio
attacked first
Series
off.
stuff definitely
But
looks
the
better.
Studio Series
Yeah.
stuff looks up better. We're getting Dinobots. Like, those are going to be, really exciting and whatnot too. I think my only complaint with Studio Series is that they're like making more accurate versions come out later, but whatever. It is what it is.
I
kinda
would say-
that, but
My hot takes are more for the first wave of Legacy. But I mean, again, too, like when I look at Wreck-gar, even then, like who people love, I'm sure it's a great toy. But I see all the hollow bits and it's just like, ugh, But that's me. That's where.
Wreck-gar
That's
is
how
a
I.
great toy.
That's
I mean,
because
yeah.
balls
again,
deep
for
for
the
third
price
party.
point. Right, exactly. That's
Exactly.
the other problem too.
Yeah, I
is
like good
that-
toys. You're right. I like
I
quality
mean-
things that people care about what they're doing.
Dude,
No,
Wreck-gar is
a
amazing.
phenomenal
Right.
toy.
Amazing.
Fucking awesome.
I hear what you're saying.
Amazing.
It's got this gap right here, but I don't put this Wreck-gar anywhere near in the class of that Skids. The Wreck-gar looks
Yeah.
well proportioned. It's a well designed toy. Skids is a hollow piece of trash that looks like ill proportioned trash.
Thank you for agreeing with me, Phil.
No,
Yes,
I
no,
mean,
I wholeheartedly
look,
agree that Skids sucks. But
But
don't
I
compare
see it
Skids
in
to
all of
Wreck-gar.
it. Skids is the worst example, absolutely.
Right.
But it's the hollowness is way more acceptable now than it used to be. People are just used to it at this point, to where Skids
Yeah,
is even
'cause
remotely
You
acceptable.
have
Yeah.
inflation happening, and the way you deal with inflation
Hollowness inflation.
you deal with inflation by either cutting your cost so you don't have to raise the price, or you raise the price. And Hasbro has been
Or they do both.
trying to cut the
I think
cost to not raise the price.
The other question I wonder on some of this stuff too is like there's so many third party companies or whatever you want to call them making gap filler kits that I don't know. I wonder if Hasbro's like, whatever. Like they'll just,
No,
like,
it's
just
again
Let
buy
those
more
morons get the
upgrade
wrong
kits.
color plastic and put it in with the other stuff. Cool. Let them do it.
No, I know.
again, like
right.
here's your 160 Black Zarek with your $130 upgrade kits.
Fucking
You ain't-
morons. That toy is amazing on its own. You don't need no fucking upgrade kit with a fucking long ass tail. That is stupid as shit. All right. Here's the problem with Legacy. What toy line just ended?
Kingdom,
Think real hard.
G.I. Joe Retro?
Yes,
Kingdom?
but
Red
Oh,
Series.
No,
Cyberverse.
Cyberverse. Phil with the winner. Cyberverse was a lower grade toy line. Even the deluxes, which were pretty good, some of them sucked. But I think they were like, hey, these Siege toys, these are expensive. These Cyberverse toys, we sold them for the same price. They're less expensive. Let's make the Cyberverse. Let's end the Cyberverse line and let's make the new toys the Cyberverse line and not tell anyone. And I think that's what we got. And all these toys they aren't the quality of Siege or War for Cybertron. They just aren't as good. But they're all the same price point.
I have a hard time disagreeing with you.
Thanks, Phil. That's like the kindest thing you've ever said to me.
I said
I don't
earlier today you are good as business.
Oh, yeah, you did say that. That's so nice of you too.
I think it's hard to say at this point until we actually like see more of the line. So I mean, I think once we get a toy fair and whatnot, then you'll have a better shot. Now, obviously, it doesn't bode well if Wave 1 is looking kind of sketch because a lot of times they put the most resources into that. But I don't know. I still think again that the
rough.
combined.
It looks
to
rough.
me, I don't know. I still think that the kickback looks, I like that, and I like the combiner. If I can get a couple of those, like the problem is that I'm probably gonna buy it all because just that's what I do. So
You gotta
you're
stop
making
with
it.
that buy it all stuff.
I
You-
know,
you
right?
can't.
I think the saving grace with Minosaur might be like when I look at drag strip and I still see the hollowness and kind of some of the back in my day, pops in my head uncontrollably. Like most people are gonna leave that in combined mode, and so when he's just tacked onto an arm, you're not gonna see it.
I just don't
So-
get what's hollow about drag strip. His thigh?
I mean, I'm not gonna go through nitpicking it. That's
That's a nitpick to begin with.
That's
Well, I'm
another
Right,
show.
but
It
you're
all
like
jumps at
sitting
me.
there throwing down the gauntlet like, oh, it's a hollow piece of trash. But I'm not going to break that down. I'm just going to throw that statement out.
I don't have the picture in front of me.
I'm
Like, I
fucking
look at it
looking
and I
at
see-
it. It's
I
not
see-
hollow.
I see gaps and I see unpainted plastic everywhere. Like that's just what jumps out at me, man. But what I'm saying is since those are probably just gonna be tacked on for that really Motor Master is one you got to knock out of the park. And then like the combined mode will come with it. So, hopefully
Yeah.
for people into that, I hope that's what you get.
We got Kingdom and Earthrise toys that had hollowness that were still better looking than what we're getting out of Legacy. So
Yeah, we did.
to
The
me-
legacy line is a downgrade from where we were at, and they're trying to make it seem like it's this continuation of the same thing.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
it really is not.
No,
It's
I
unfortunate.
think you're really onto something there, Paul.
Like I think where I'm trying to agree with y'all at is that I feel that's happening, but I felt that started when we went to Combiner Wars. And I felt like for the most part, it's been like there've been some upticks and it's been a bumpy ride down, but I feel overall it keeps going more toward Cyber versus mainline now, and everyone's chewing it up.
Where
And not
was
realizing
it? Where were these problems not in existence though?
It's not it's a scale. You know what I mean? It's not everything is perfect, everything is crap. It's how often did you see it as time went on in in the mainline releases. And I feel like now it's very common to where we even have a term for it now, waffly. We used to just call it hollow bits because we didn't need a term because it didn't happen so much.
Well, I think it has more to do with how long you've been looking for it than if it exists or not. Because I think it's always been somewhat consistent, like the gappiness and I don't know, these things that people bring up, like, oh my God, the back sucks, like
Oh yeah.
the back's always sucked ass. What are you talking about? You just finally gotten sick of it because you're 47, like, what did you expect? And if you
No,
want,
this back is normal. Look, this back is very flush and isn't chunky looking at
Hey,
all.
that's pipes. That's what it's supposed to be.
there you go. I don't know. I have a. I get
I'm
where
not
you're
arguing
coming
about
from.
backpacks for what it's worth. Those don't bother me typically.
Well, that's how you'll make all your money is on your
I
backpack
don't know.
videos.
I mean, I think we're
I'm just
sitting
sad to
there,
hear you say this, Rob. I know
like,
you're not.
I mean,
you're out
obviously,
of.
Rob, like Enoch says, you know, that man, you know, we had this conversation every time before Transformer line. Then we end up liking it, like once we get the toys.
We
And
don't.
that, I will say though, that does happen just in general. Like it might be the masterpiece, like where you're like, oh, I don't like this, that, whatever, and then you get it in hand, and unless it's like RC, you're gonna end up liking it, you know.
That's not the case, at least not for me.
With the
I'm
stuff.
pretty
And-
good at being
right, but,
honest
like,
with myself.
You're not the market for, you know, that stuff. I think that again, like if that's your main collection, you know, then you're gonna be happy. But like, I don't think anyone's excited for the gaps and whatnot. But like, it's just part of it. Like they had.
It's
to put
only
the
part
gaps
of it
somewhere.
because everyone keeps accepting it, and they keep buying it all anyways. That's
Right, but Hasbro's still up their game. Like the level of articulation, paint, and parts count.
Drag Strip
is
doesn't even have
higher
wrist swivels.
The
Well, now, okay, Anna. Who cares?
A lot of people. I mean, it's just again, it's
there's
another
1,000
thing gone.
figures that don't have wrist swivel, especially
They
at
all
the
suck.
deluxe price point.
And they all
So
suck.
I don't know. Like I think
No,
that
they don't all
that's-
suck. They don't. I disagree
Right.
with you. Like Rob. You're a close friend of mine. I feel like you're a wise person. I feel like you're being very unself-aware right now of like your nitpicks and like
I think
why
I'm the
you
only
have-
one being aware. I'm
No, I
bringing
think,
I'm bringing the
Rob,
light to all of y'all living in the shadow.
It's
They
a
don't
$20
realize-
toy that's not going to live up to your expectations of anything behind you right now. So why
Nothing
would
ever
you even
is.
complain?
I'm not complaining. I'm saying
You just
The-
complained about fucking wrist swivels.
I'm not complaining. I'm saying that the average collector's acceptance that are willing to accept whatever from Hasbro as long as it meets a price point, as opposed to wanting a quality toy, which really honestly defines the way my collecting has shifted,
Sure.
you know, over the past few years,
Right.
anyways.
I mean, G1 Optimus Prime had wrist swivels, I guess, right?
No, that toy's
So I mean, it's
Most of-
fucking superior to Legacy
He had
drag
elbow.
strip.
I would
Whoa,
agree to
you
that.
guys-
I'd rather
you
have
guys
G1
we
Prime
just went,
than
like,
that.
Is anyone watching the live stream?
No, did we get hacked?
Okay. No, we just like all of a sudden got like a 6 bubble, and then we went to just being the Skype.
No, it like I don't know what this other bubble is. I'm not really sure.
Okay, and then
Well,
we
a
went
friend
all
Paul.
to one
Yeah,
bubble
no,
and disappeared.
I was trying to take away the bubble, essentially. So that
box,
was
I shouldn't
that was
say
me,
bubble.
yeah.
Box.
But no,
Yeah,
I mean
'cause
that,
it looks like there's a 6th person who is got their camera off right now.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know, but I ran Paul off, so you know, mission accomplished for the night.
Yeah.
Rob, I agree with Paul, and you and I talk about other toy lines you buy.
Yeah.
You buy high-end toy lines. You're getting the Super 7 Ninja Turtles. You know, you're buying the third-party stuff. Like, so you are,
There you go.
I think, falling into that trap of comparing a mainline deluxe versus a.
I'm not comparing these to Masterpiece. Let's be clear. My
So-
hot
so I think
take is
what you're
simply
saying
that
is-
people are willing to accept more in the mainline because it meets their price point than we used to as a fandom
I
as a
don't
whole.
disagree. I think
That's
it's a
it.
situation where you're trying to say, hey, the grass might be greener on the other side that's not Hasbro, but even if it is, whether or not it's greener on the other side, the grass used to be greener at Hasbro mainline than it is today.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I think that the proportions and all that of the newer figures, I personally like them better than the shit from 15 years ago or whatever it was. Yeah, 15 years ago. So I don't know, but again, like that's so long ago. It's 15 years ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That it's like
I
whatever.
brought that
like
up.
it's just completely different now than it was. But
Absolutely.
like you had to, you still had to say that even if the, whatever Legacy is not as exciting as what we've gotten for the last like 3 straight years, it's like still, better than some of the Combiner Wars stuff that we were getting in some of those decos as far as like the quality and whatnot. So I don't know. Like
I thought
just
Combiner
feel like
Wars was okay.
I mean, I think that the combiners were okay, especially for the time. They're fun, but like, I don't know. I'm excited for whatever the new combiners, and I hope that they do more of them because I think a lot of the Combiner Wars figures have shown their age. And so if I don't want to spend $600 on a freaking like third-party combiner, then maybe
you don't have to. You just buy the 3 that Fans Toys has put out. It's not $600, and they're never going to complete it. There you go.
Lucas, you might spend $600 completing a Combiner Wars
these days, right?
These days.
By the time you do,
so that tells you something.
In this economy,
it doesn't matter how shitty the toys were. It's just that they existed. But it's nice that they're redoing Menasor because he was kind of the worst offender.
He was terrible.
And that was mainly the middle bot. Although the breakdown mold wasn't great either. But
the drag strip mold wasn't great. I'm super excited about this drag strip solely because it is so much better than the last drag strip.
And the kickback's so much better than the last kickback too.
Right. Yeah, the Insecticons were crap, like, too. So
I was glad we got them, but these are better.
Right.
Yep.
They tricked me.
They're still not great though. Like, why does everyone like the kickback?
Because
I feel like
every single kid in America had kickback as a kid.
I feel like you argue with me, Paul, at the big picture, but on all the small details we agree. And so I don't know why we can't see eye to eye.
Oh.
No, kickback sucks. Like, it's total garbage. It comes with like icicles as weapons. Like, it looks so bad. I'd rather have the original.
But you know what else is really great? Let's give Eject that is half translucent blue.
You know,
that's not Legacy. That's
why they're doing that.
Oh, absolutely no. Yeah.
Well, it is Legacy and Kingdom.
Yeah, but what comes first matters most.
Then I matter the most.
Yes, you're the oldest. Maybe.
I appreciate that you're probably not going to buy any of this, except for you might buy some weird Generations Select repaint of the stuff, and then you'll complain and be like, "What's up with all these gaps?" And the
I won't complain.
Head.
Well, I mean, I might, but I'll accept it going into it. I'll accept it going into it.
Well, Lucas, you're definitely going to buy that Galvatron, right?
Yeah.
Again. It's slightly better.
Yeah.
In renders.
Someone said this earlier in the chat, and I did have it on my list of stuff that I am curious about with what Hasbro does this year, and that's the crossover stuff. I found that stuff to be pretty fun. Like I even finally opened this the other day. Finally opened them, yay!
And when you say this is the
sorry, it's the Jurassic Park crossover.
Set, yeah.
JP93.
Yeah, to be clear, JP93 is definitely a crap toy, but it suits it in robot car mode or whatever the hell this is, which was its whole point, right? And I don't know, the tampos and stuff on it are cool. I really like the logo on it, but as a Transformer, it's not very exciting. Megatron's pretty nice though.
What makes JP93 a crap toy?
Having eyeballs and looking at it. That's really where it falls apart for me.
I guess I just feel like it's a new mold. It's a modern, like current mold, right? Like it's probably indicative of what we're getting with Legacy.
Yeah, I mean it's just the general shit, that me and you've been arguing about the whole time here or conversing about. There's hollow bits. It's the proportions don't look good. I don't think it looks good in robot mode. It's very simple to transform, which isn't a knock. FYI, but here it is. Ooh, I don't know. He just doesn't have much articulation or whatever, but that's not the point of this toy either. This isn't somebody from G1 I love and I want the best version of. It's like, cool, it makes the van car truck thingy from Jurassic Park.
Alert.
Red alert.
Well, there was a time when everyone thought that was Skids. if I
right?
remember correctly. And
Oh yeah,
now
that was
we all
totally me.
we
That
all
was
hate
totally me.
we all hate skids so much that now it's Armada Red Alert.
Yeah,
This
and
would make
fuck
it
Red Alert,
better.
too.
This would be better as better than Skids from what I can see. Just FYI, but no. Anyways, I like the crossovers because they're fun. And, you know, at least those serve a different purpose. You know, a different purpose of
They all serve the same purpose to separate us from our money.
mission accomplished.
Good
Well,
job,
except for
Hasbro.
like Mainline and me, you know, mission not accomplished. But they're fun. They're wacky. They're oddball. They're unpredictable.
Are there any rumors of the next crossover? Because the Dracula one was rumored for a while. Even the Jurassic Park one was rumored for a little bit. Have we gotten any teases?
I think we have to look at what 80s and 90s franchises have a movie coming out. Like, not all of these have, but it's like those can help lean into like those might get a release, right? You know, because Top Gun was in the news for a bit, you know, and then
Top Gun's coming out, I think, at some point, right?
It's a year and a half late or something, right? I mean,
Yeah.
2 years. I think they finished filming that thing in like 2018, or started filming in 2018.
I just
Best
remember.
thing,
Go ahead.
best thing for that movie is if Tom Cruise like met an untimely demise like right before the movie came out, because then everyone would be like, gotta see it. Otherwise, no one fucking cares. No one's gonna see that.
What was funny is before that movie even came out, Tom Cruise, like they did like a PSA for like when you watch the new Top Gun, make sure you turn off motion interpolation on your TVs. That's not how the film is designed to be viewed. Like, the movie ain't even out, bro. That or I'm mixing that up with another movie he did. It definitely happened, and it was just like,
When you're gonna watch Top Gun Legacy or whatever it's called, make sure you see it in the Church of Scientology. That's how it's intended to be viewed.
if
Ron
you don't
says
have
we still need
Xenu on your shoulder.
Amazon. Ron says we
The
need
Amazon Prime?
That's been on the back burner for like 3 years. It's crazy. I hope that finally comes out.
Wait, whoa! Is this an actual listing that happened or something? I'm
I'm clueless on this too.
It's. I think this is the year that it's finally going to happen. Where
I
like
thought
on
that
Prime
the
Day
only
they will
system
release it.
my aunt sends out every year that she realizes I like like Transformers.
Maybe-
Optimus Prime, and it's a Gundam. I love getting that every 5 months from normies.
Oh, we're in winter now. We're gonna be getting the Ultra Magnus blown Transformer meme soon.
Well, this time they're saying it's going to be a redo of the Laser Rod Optimus. Which I don't, whatever.
Can
That's
it
just
can
the
it
current
have the JP93 head so you can have the Jeff Bezos cowboy hat head?
There you go.
Yes.
What about Avatar? You know, that's not an 80s property, but I could see them doing an Avatar crossover toy.
Talk about overhyped movies. Ugh.
If they have some crazy vehicle, you know, maybe.
They had that mech. They had that mech thing from the first movie.
I mean, the Matrix mech? Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Or you could do like a Beast Wars kind of thing where it turns into one of the pterodactyl dragon thingamajiggers.
Pterosaur repaint.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Repaint of a repaint.
I mean, speaking of James Cameron, I'd love them to do like the power loader from Aliens or the tank that they drive into the hive with. That'd be cool.
Aliens
Dropship.
works with people because Beastbox has several figures in their Aliens line, like, and Predator too. And like my understanding is like they're licensed or whatever. So that could definitely be something.
Well, there's a connection there.
That we're going to get more Universal monsters.
I am not aware of any rumors for future collaboratives.
They're gonna do a Mummy crossover, and Tom Cruise is gonna be the hype man for it because of that movie he did 4 years ago.
Well, little known
Guys, this is
fact.
going to be the dark universe. This is going to be like the MCU. It's going to be just as big.
Aliens came out the same weekend as Transformers the movie, so I think Aliens owes Transformers the movie like you know something. So they need to do a crossover for stealing all their box office money.
Aliens dropship.
Oh, that'd be super rad.
Yeah.
So for you, Hasbro sycophants, what else do y'all want to?
Bros.
You Hasbros.
I'm gonna talk
I haven't
to
kept
you,
up.
Rob, anymore after like shit on there. I don't come like shitting on all your third party stuff. You're always like, why
Totally
don't you
do.
want to talk about, whatever? And then it's, you
Hey, I
sit
told
there
y'all
and
it was a
crap
hot
all over
take.
my stuff.
I told you it was a hot take, and Paul said, "Please go full steam ahead."
So
So
let him
I went
have
there.
it, Lucas. Let him have
Yeah.
it. It's my turn
normally-
to talk.
45 minutes on it.
Yeah, he
I was
just
trying to move
challenged
on.
me.
I was trying to move on.
That hot take.
I'm
is
still
gonna
trying
get
to move
3 more
on.
retweets.
So I haven't kept up with like what the leaks are for the future waves of Legacy. So what in that is coming up that people are excited about?
Fuck
Nothing.
Legacy. No one cares. We want to go to Studio Series, and we want Studio
Or Studio
Series,
Series.
Voyager, Ironhide, 86. That is going to be the jam. That is going to, like I said with MP Jazz earlier, I don't want to repeat exactly what I said. It was a bit vulgar, but the same thing's going to happen when that gets out.
You said
That's
something
gonna be
about
good.
snow all over America.
Lots of snow in America. It's going to be
Is
a
that
snowy
cocaine?
July, baby.
Are you talking about cocaine? Or, I mean, I'm in Florida. We got
It's
meth.
cocaine. It's cocaine.
Cocaine's a better choice. Actually, it's going to be a snowy November is when that's going to happen. But I am really looking forward to that. That is going to be cool because, that means Ratchet's coming.
I mean,
And
they have
that
still
is-
not done a good G1, Ironhide
Right.
or Ratchet, and they're like, Siege was better than Classics. Classics one was pretty terrible, and I like to think everybody admitted it even then.
Well, there's the Earthrise
like-
one too, but then the back of the van. As long as you don't look
Yeah.
at the back of the van, it's fine.
You might
And
have
it was an
a PC issue, so it wouldn't
exclusive.
go into van mode.
I
So-
suspect if they do one and it's good, I bet they crib the masterpiece. Like they have with some of the other ones. You take it, you simplify it, but that shows you where to put the pieces to get the shapes you want. That or they just make it toe line for
Well,
Megatron.
I hope they make it. I hope they make it way better than that masterpiece toy, to be honest. But that at least gives them a starting point.
I love the masterpiece, but that's another show.
That's one of the. I mean, to me, that's one of the odd ones. Like that kind of stands out. Like doesn't fit with masterpiece. Ironhide and Ratchet were kind of like their own thing, and then suddenly they're like, "Hey, Inferno and Grapple, way better."
Oh, yeah. To be clear, that's because a million years ago I put on a third-party kit that took care of the hip panel things, which greatly improved them in my eyes. But yeah. I
We're
don't
talking
know.
about
That'll be
this
interesting to
year.
see what they do.
This year.
Anyways, that's the figure I'm most excited for from the leaks that may or may not be true, but they're true, and that one is definitely coming, and I'm excited for that. And
I'm
the
looking forward
Fallen,
to Sludge and Wheelies.
I'm looking forward to Sludge. It's our third Dinobot. This is leader. I mean, if it's anywhere near the other two, it should be really good. Although it's Sludge, and with the neck of the dinosaur, I just don't know how they're going to do it. Like, are they going to make the neck one solid piece? Are they going to make it bendy in some way? Like, what are they going to do and keep the robot mode like the same height? That's
Right.
going to be interesting.
What I'd like to see from them Sludge is, keep the neck one solid piece if that helps them keep costs or whatever, so they can have like a motion where you push it and the eyes pop up. That's what they need.
They got to add that if that's what they're doing. That's all That's all Sludge from the movie is known for, is that frame, that one frame.
Which also means that your Ironhide you're looking forward to is going to have a big hole through it, and it's going to have all kinds of battle damage, and you're going to have to wait till like the third version to where you just get a clean repaint of it.
Well, no, that'll be the SDCC 2023 version. Is the Death of Ironhide.
I mean, that would be an awesome box set if you did a Prowl and Ironhide and Ratchet, like
Brawn.
the corpse version.
Holy shit! Yeah, that's good.
An alternate head for Prowl of just the smoke coming out of his holes.
And put 2 Starscreams in the set because there's 2 Starscreams that attack the shuttle.
There's a lot, like the movie is so well animated, but yet there's still so many of those little things in there, especially with how much change between storyboards in the movie.
Right? Can you
it's
imagine someone going through and trying to fix
fun.
all
Trying
that?
to fix it?
God.
Like, how do you do stuff when like
What a
there's
genius!
characters? there's characters that show up dead. Like, isn't you see Windcharger dead, but then he's also in it again later, like in some background frame or something.
He
It's
got
crazy.
You're making
got
stuff
better.
up, Rob. That was on a different timeline.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I can't
I will
wait till he
say
then
that-
decides to go and like fix all of the Armada animation errors.
I'm Thundercracker now. That's all I
He
remember about
says
Armada.
I look just like Thundercracker.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I watched it a long time ago, and I'm not going to ever rewatch it. So.
Don't ever rewatch it.
It's the Nemesis Prime episode, though. That's kind of fun. Watch.
I will say, we talked about Perceptors earlier. I mean, there's one coming out in Studio Series, so
Yeah,
It's the year of Perceptor, man.
I was gonna drop a burn, but the time didn't present itself. Like, why would you buy those when you have your $20 Studio Series one?
Oh,
It's
$22.99.
burn.
$22.99.
Well, it's a $50 one, isn't it? Isn't it like a higher price or 30, whatever the Voyager price
No, he's
is?
deluxe.
The
Oh,
deluxe.
he
I thought he was deluxe.
Depends where you
Yeah.
buy it, Rob.
But I guess, is it deluxe or Voyager scale? I guess is the question.
It's deluxe.
Okay.
Deluxe.
Some online retailers rent out space somewhere and they charge like 4 times retail.
Depends.
So you
Yeah.
can
You
pay
go to this
leader
one toy
prices
store.
for your deluxe. Just living the dream.
Another toy that's coming. This is not 86, but the Fallen sounds kind of exciting. Like if they could do it very well.
yeah.
They could do it very badly too, though.
Hey,
So
what if they
I'm pretty
blew
sure
our
the design
minds?
did it very badly.
What if they blew our minds though? And even though it's in the Studio Series, it's like the Storm or the IDW version of Fallen
I mean,
or
Dreamwave?
Sorry, yeah,
that
or
would-
like the Titanium one. You know, it's some other more interesting design than the Bay one. If they, they pulled a left hook on us.
I mean, going back to non-86 movie Studio Series toys, those Bumblebee movie Studio Series toys look freaking amazing. Soundwave has already been hitting. I've got a friend that's picking up a Soundwave. I've got to pick him up still, but he's out in the wild now.
But they did another Soundwave.
Braun, what's that?
Is it a repaint of like the previous one, or is it an
Bumblebee.
MO?
It's the Bumblebee movie.
Oh,
Soundwave.
got it. Sorry, got it. Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't
The one
watch
that Paul-
Off My Wallet's latest episode, Rob.
I did,
Yeah.
but that's how quickly I forgot about that toy. So, gotcha. I'm on track.
It's my fault, honestly.
So, but that's like a sub line within that line that is really looking good. RC, I love the alt mode they created for her. Braun looks just insanely good. Juggernaut Braun.
Mm-hmm.
Jugabron.
Yeah, that's a
Wheeljack,
good
I
one.
think.
The
That's the
only
other
the
one,
only one of those that looks kind of weak is like their weird decision to make Shockwave a core class toy.
Yeah, hate that.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to come out at a different size later or a different
Correct.
version.
It
Correct.
might. It feels very odd because he's a character that gets a pretty prominent shot in the movie, and it's just like, we're gonna make you this big.
They're going to release one of those driller figures for Studio Series from Dark of the Moon. You can cram Bumblebee Shockwave like on top of it somehow. And it's like,
Like,
I
this
think
makes
it's less-
sense, doesn't it?
I think it's less like, oh, we're going to make Shockwave and make it core class. And it's more, hey, we have the core class wave and we need 3 things. What are things we can do? And it's like, oh, let's do a Shockwave in it. And then later on, they'll do a bigger Shockwave.
You're wrong.
Maybe.
Not what happened. We was
One
there.
thing to note
Not
about
really.
the core class is they do not have numbers like all the rest of the toys do. So I think they might be like, they don't matter.
they don't count.
But well, you know what? Whoever decided Shockwave should be a core class, I hope they get fired. They definitely need to be
Yeah.
terminated.
Start a campaign.
Hey,
Yeah.
Paul, is the Studio Series Ironhide, is that confirmed to be a Voyager?
Correct.
Okay,
Because it ships with Galvatron from Transformers 4, known as not Megatron.
okay. Yeah, that's. I thought I saw on
known
the
as
leaks and
Frank
whatnot,
Welker
but-
getting another paycheck.
Hey, why
Hey,
not?
Man's got to eat.
No, I mean, good for him. He deserves it.
Man's got to invest his extra money, is what you mean. Yes, it's definitely. Well, there's 2 Ironhides. There's the Bumblebee movie Ironhide, which is a deluxe, and then there's the 86 Ironhide, which is a Voyager.
That's
There we
probably
go,
what
thank
people
you.
are getting mixed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's confusing. There's so many Ratchets and Ironhides and RCs these days. You know, it's like, especially in a line like Studio Series where there's sublines of sublines and stuff. You know, like, you know, Phil mentioned, oh, I love this subline of the Bumblebee movie. Well, they've had sublines the whole way through. They've had movie 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and now 6 is all that is. So
I still feel really stupid that, you know, we saw Studio Series RC and everybody was thinking it was from the movie. And like, why are they redoing that? Also, it's like, I don't feel like anybody called that, oh, they're the Bumblebee movie versions, which makes a lot of sense in retrospect. And maybe somebody did somewhere.
Well,
it's cool that they're doing it.
I got some fucked up news is that there is RC from movie 6, and there's also Studio Series 86 RC, who is a deluxe that is also planned to come. So you tell me what that fucking means. I don't know. It pains me.
A repaint of like the big shell former that we got in one of the previous trilogies.
I mean, considering
with a brighter pink. I don't know.
Considering the buzzworthy toys that Peter loves so much that are coming out soon, like Cup and Cliff Jumper, it's definitely gonna just be I don't even know if it's gonna be a redeco of the Earthrise RC that was also released in Kingdom. That was also remolded into Elita 1, and I hope they do something different, but it doesn't look like it.
She's got a new hat. Except it's just a painted on hat.
That's the episode I watched today with the talking Malibu Stacy.
Exactly. I mean, I say it's a new hat almost every time we have a show because it's literally like I don't care if
it's only relevant today because I watched the episode. It's only relevant today.
Yeah, I mean let's be real. We're all just swimming in nostalgia, and 3P and Hasbro. That's all they're doing is just giving us slightly better, except for Keith, who is going into a few new areas, which I love him for. But
no, they're just giving you different eras of nostalgia that hasn't been scratched as much.
Nobody else has done any Omnibots.
Nope. Right. I know someone who finished about 80% several customs.
So
thank you for doing that, Peter.
Ron in the chat was bringing up about Wave 2 of Shattered Glass. That's another one to look forward to. You know?
I'm not looking forward to that. I wasn't looking forward to the first
toys
wave.
Have been nice. I didn't read this comic.
I mean,
I don't care.
This cast loves it so much that we did one episode on Shattered Glass and then just said, fuck this. We're out.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. That Jetfire is
a very nice mold.
Looking toy. It's a very nice mold, and it's a cool paint job. I've been pleasantly surprised with how much I've enjoyed the Shattered Glass toys. I'm really looking forward to Starscream. If they do another wave, I'll probably pick them up.
Well, look at all the hollow bits in that toy, though, man.
Oh my god!
Like where?
I'm screwing with you.
I'll tell you what, though, mine is loose. Mine is actually pretty loose. Which
I don't see.
I usually don't have that problem, but
get some future.
It happens.
God, every time Rob opens his mouth, I just see that hollow bit in the middle of his face.
Hollow space in between my ears.
Phil, what's supposed to be coming for SG?
Are you asking me? I don't know.
I
still haven't put out.
I think isn't there like a Soundwave, Shattered Glass Soundwave coming? I can't remember the other ones.
I heard they're going to change the name to Pete Formers this year.
I thought it was Rick Formers because Rick
is Rick Shattered Glass Pete. I think we just hit on something here.
I'll give you
that. Or
I'm
Pete
so sad he's not
Glass
here.
Rick.
Either way, man.
He'd probably like that.
I think
better that way.
These are the ones that I have heard of. Yeah, Soundwave, which I mean, I'm definitely getting that one. The white Soundwave. Right. That's kind of a cool ass.
Will it have the headband?
Yeah, it needs a headband.
Oh, it has to.
I think it might. I mean, considering what they did with some of the other toys, it could have something.
Heads.
Yeah.
Then we got Blaster, who is kind of boring, honestly. It looks boring to me, the gray one.
Yeah.
Right.
And I can't remember any of the rest, but there's more coming.
Sideswipe?
Wheeljack Ultra Magnus.
Wheeljack and Ultra Magnus. That's right.
So we
That's
get
right.
Slicer, basically, and Magnus from that BotCon
Well, would it
thing.
be Delta Magnus? Because that would be exciting.
No, it's Shatterglass Ultra
It's
Magnus.
Shattered Glass. It's a different character, different color. We need a Delta. We need a Delta to go
Right.
hang out with the Diaclone guys. That we haven't gotten him yet is fucking criminal.
Delta Magnus doesn't
Criminal.
have a skull for a face, Lucas. Jeez.
Criminal.
So-
Back to the firing of executives.
Yeah, everyone's got to go.
Talking about things.
Speak-
I'm going to
Bears
reach
did
real
it
back
today.
based off of something you just said there, Peter. I would be all down for a Masterpiece Wheeljack repaint as Slicer. That'd be so cool. I don't think it's going to happen or anything, but that would be so cool.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
Do it as a mall
Continue.
thing. Do a pre-order.
Whatever.
We gotta
Yeah.
call Cox. We gotta call Cox, the new CEO.
Call him up.
Gotta get Cox on the phone and get him to do the thing we want.
Sounds good.
Yo,
All right. Well, do we
TOX,
have
what's
any
up?
anything we
Lucas
missed?
has got the Cox phone in his room
Yes,
there.
yeah.
Is there any
yeah.
Got
fiction?
the Cox hotline.
Is there any
Fiction?
fiction to look forward to this year?
No.
No,
There's the end
IDW
of
is
a
dead.
fiction.
There's no cartoons. There's no movie. There's nothing. We're awash in a sea of empty.
Hey,
Fiction.
maybe
Yeah,
that's
Rise of the
something.
Best.
Maybe that's something to look forward to.
I'll give
No
it to you.
shitty
The quiet.
media to make yourself
Just
suffer through.
enjoy the silence, as Depeche
Yeah.
Mode once said.
I'm gonna go back and read some Dreamwave.
Oh.
There you go.
Is
Dull
it bad that I still
surprise.
enjoy the War Within designs?
Yeah,
I like those.
They're fun.
Ron asked if there could be a Shattered Glass Titan. Isn't there supposed to be an Omega repaint of the... Yeah.
Omega 2.
Mark
But, yeah,
spoiled
probably-
that on his thing.
Oh yeah, we're getting
probably-
the Sentinels.
Sentinels, yeah.
What are the
Yeah,
Sentinels?
They're not Shatterglass, though.
it's not Shattered Glass. Omega Doom is Shattered Glass, and we're getting Omega Sentinels out of the Omega Supreme mold
Okay.
sometime during
The white
Legacy.
and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we get to troop build Titans. Oh boy.
Rick's
I
gonna
want-
have like
Have to.
40 of them and open them up on a cut the tape. And make
Suggested.
Lucas can edit it. So they're really doing that?
Suggested.
Is that a leak or is that
The
what
leak.
you- Okay.
Mark leaked it in a live stream or whatever. He had
Oh.
it on his computer.
He had it in
so
his
it was
beard.
like
He
his
just-
computer. Yeah, his computer behind him had like a bunch of like leaked listings on shit that he accidentally was like, "Oops, don't look at that."
His beard
My
is an
bad.
active Tesseract. He's got a wormhole in his beard.
He's got the
Reach
Doctor
into
Who
space
phone,
and
phone
time.
booth. The TARDIS.
Omega 2.
Wait, is Omega Doom, is that in a listing somewhere as well?
No, it's
No,
not.
okay.
It's
It would just
it's
be
in a
cool.
Paul Fever
Rob's
dream.
like, "You piqued my interest.
I was just making sure I didn't
You
miss
finally
it.
got me, Hasbro."
I mean,
Paul doesn't
I
like
have
to, I'm
Hasbro
sorry, Rob
stuff.
doesn't like to buy any of these toys, but he wants to know what's coming.
I like to be able to contribute to the show. I'm not always just, going to be shitting on it all. Sometimes I like to engage and talk about it. I mean,
Again,
Has-
you want to
Hasbro can win me back. They can win me
You
back
want to know
some.
the names of the toys you're going to shit on.
I mean, that's the start of it, man.
Phil,
Yeah.
once Takara announces Masterpiece Jazz, then Rob will know what's coming.
That's right. Oh, that would be so sweet.
Cocaine?
Yeah, cocaine.
Oh,
Riding that
I do
train.
cocaine.
So I do want to mention book club this week. Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central on the TF Talk Discord. It is going to be Revolution 3, Revolution RID, and Revolution G.I. Joe. So
Ooh.
I guess check
I'm
that
gonna
out.
keep
Did
my
you really
comment.
want to mention that?
I want to keep my comment that I made last time we announced the last time we did book club. If you remember,
no, but don't.
if you're gonna sleep one out, this the time to call in
Oh,
sick.
rude.
It might be for a couple of months. It sounded like, and then
Yeah.
dive back in.
Oh,
You know what?
Skywarp's part of
I give
G.I.
power
Joe
to the
now?
people there. Like, I'm sending you my thoughts and prayers during this difficult time. I hope you guys can struggle through it. It's rough. I can't imagine going through something like that. So, you have my support, and I wish you
Well,
the best through it, and we'll see you on the other side.
maybe
You can do this. You can do this.
Maybe after that, then we can catch up with the current issues of Transformers as well.
And then we won't have to talk about book club ever again after that, right?
Wait, is this accurate that Zaldron's saying that you guys just have an in-joke in the Discord about blaming Rick for all that?
For Revolution?
Yeah.
He was the reason that Unit E happened. But that was only a one-time deal. But Revolution did take some cues from Unity, so I don't know.
Okay.
Rick was long removed from Revolution, so
I thought. I mean, hey,
In all
ROM
honesty,
is huge
no.
now though because of it. So it's everywhere. You can't go anywhere without ROM and Micronauts.
Did you say ROM or ramen?
ROM.
Oh,
yeah, I mean
if
ROMs
you
have
said
been
ramen, that statement would be accurate.
ROMs have been real big since like 2002 when I got the internet at college. They gotten bigger?
The games just keep getting bigger, man. They keep.
Damn, that's cool.
So Enos was asking, what about the Leader Dragon Megatron? I think we didn't mention that. That's another one.
I think we
been
just got to
key.
see some of this stuff first before
Right.
the hype builds up. But the way things are going.
So speaking of hype and Toy Fair, Hasbro is not going to do official Toy Fair, so are they going to be doing a unofficial live stream thing, we think?
I would imagine so. I don't think they've announced anything, but just if they've made that decision, it gives them like a month to prepare. So usually it's around Valentine's Day. Although that news sucks because originally they were like, hey, we're coming back to Toy Fair. It's like a new thing. And then it's like, fuck yeah, never mind. But I mean, I get it, COVID. But maybe, next, I think it would be good for them to go back to the main jam.
To be honest, I think a lot of companies are reevaluating the in-person conventions when they're like, you know what? Like those don't. I mean, I'm sure everything gives you some media exposure, blah, 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 blah. But that type of stuff is really for the hardcore fans because who's going to fly out there? And they're going to hear about whatever you do anyways. And it's a million times cheaper to do a live stream. Ta-da! And
Paul
announce
said
stuff.
they have a month to prepare, and they're not going to spend a month preparing. They spend like an hour and a half preparing, go live, fuck it all up, and then be like, you're going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's
Here's
it. They
the
win.
pictures.
I mean,
Dude,
even
I'm
Blizzard
not kidding when I
canceled their
say
stuff.
this. We're probably like 3 or 4 years away from a metaverse toy convention reveal sort of thing.
Wow, that would be crazy if they did that.
Yeah.
Never thought of that. That'd be actually really cool.
Where you're going to sit there with your VR goggles on and be like, oh, I'm going to spin the 3D model around.
Why is it snowing in here? There's a spooky ghost.
The VR convention sucks
guys,
because after 10 minutes, I threw up. I'm motion sick.
I just want to appreciate, thank you guys for being on the show tonight. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thanks to Catherine, to Zaldron, to Ron, to Enots, to let's see what else. Who else do we have? FVGBE342.
Don't forget about Seema Chopati and Anama Inasiya.
Yeah, those were blocks. So
Yeah.
So
But they're my favorite.
yeah,
They were contributors.
Yeah, I don't think we got
that-
like racist Nazi, blast.
That
this
is
time.
true.
That's
That is
good.
true.
We lost our most dedicated fan.
Oh boy.
He got us.
So yeah. So the microcasters this week will be a little bit different because I know Christian can't make it. So we'll trying to confirm what we're gonna do. So
Whoa,
What are we
you
gonna
had that
do?
much vacation time?
may have to have some. What's that?
You had that much vacation time?
Apparently.
Do this.
I didn't think
So-
you gave him that much time off, Lucas.
So yeah. So we'll see here what we decide to do. But
Evil Autobots.
How
we
novel.
got-
Decepticons. What?
So
Oh, that's right. He does have the football symbol, so he can be a good Decepticon.
there you go. All right.
He
well,
can
thank
be
you
like
guys.
a not sexy Phil.
And we will
Stupid.
we'll
That
see
doesn't
everyone
exist, by the way.
next week.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching.